Good evening.
Lorcan is a limitation. In creating Nirn, he destroyed or transformed the existing gods into the ones the world knows today. Each god's powers became limited. The Daedra laughed at the gods for giving up their power and created their own realms. The elves believe they were cast out of heaven by this act, and have called Lorcan the trickster ever since, hating him for what he had done. Some say Lorcan's heart is Nirn itself, and cannot be destroyed without destroying Nirn. The moons above Nirn are his flesh. He sees all. Others call him the missing god. Some believe he cannot stay long in any one place due to the transformation he went through when creating Nirn. Another story tells of Lorcan leading armies of men against the elves a long time ago. He is defeated by the elves, who rip out his heart, but find they cannot destroy it, for Lorcan's heart is the heart of Nirn. So they hide it, so men may never find their god's heart, or use it against them. It is after these ancient events we start hearing about aspects of Lorcan appearing under different names to fight on the side of men. Names Lorcan has been associated with include Shizar, who is venerated in the Colovian West for helping fight the Aelids. Pelinal Whitestrake, also known as the Divine Crusader, also helped Alessia in the rebellion against the Aelids. It is almost certain that the Knights of the Nine you spoke of would have known this. In Skyrim, under Nordic culture, Lorcan is known as Shor. In Cyrodiil, he is called Shizar, and in Morrowind, Lorcan. Roughly 250 years after the Alessian rebellion against the Aelids, Wulfharth restored the traditional Nordic pantheon. After defeating the Alessian army at Glenumbria Moors in First Era 500, the old edicts were outlawed, their priests put to the stake. Wulfharth earned the name Shor's Tongue, and Ysmir, Dragon of the North, for this act. This is the time we hear the name Ysmir. Later, Wulfharth pleaded with Shor, the dead chieftain of the gods, to help when Orki sends Alduin to eat the Nords years away. Shor battled Alduin on the spirit plane and won. Wulfharth learned a new Thu'um, which he used to restore his people's ages. But the effort aged him, and he died. Yet we know from this story, King Wulfharth was able to master a new Thu'um quickly. Which means King Wulfharth must have been Dragonborn too. Centuries later, Skyrim is under threat by the dwarves once again, when Dagoth tells the Nords he knows where the Heart of Shor can be found. The Heart of Shor was in Resdain, as Dagoth had promised, though in Resdain they call it the Heart of Lorcan. The tongues sung Shor's ghost into the world again. Shor gathered an army as he did of old. Then he sucked in the long-strewn ashes of King Wulfharth and remade him, for he needed a good general. Indeed, but in battle at Red Mountain, the Nerevar, Dumak Dwarf King, and Alandro Sul met Lorcan in battle and defeated him. Lorcan's heart was made solid by the blow from Nerevar's weapon Sunder, and cut out by his other weapon Keening. The Nords were defeated, and Wulfharth, the Ash King, who was unable to maintain his form without Shor's help, was blown back to Skyrim. Jurgen Windcaller blamed the defeat on the abuse of the voice, and started teaching Nords the way of the voice. Yes, centuries later, Wulfharth the Ash King is awoken once again by the rumblings of the Greybeards. Though the Empire had crumbled, there were rumours that a Chosen One would come to restore it. This new Emperor would defeat the Elves and rule a united Tamriel, but Wulfharth was not the Chosen One. Wulfharth, also known as Ysmir, Dragon of the North, had been replaced by a new Chosen One. Culcain, the king of Falkreath, was at war. History refers to him as Emperor Zero. Hjalti Earlybeard was his general. At the siege of Old Heraldon one night, a storm came and visited Hjalti's camp. It spoke with him in his tent. At dawn, Hjalti went up to the gates, and the storm followed just above his head. Arrows could not penetrate the winds around him. He shouted down the walls of Old Heraldon, and his men poured in. Yes, Old Heraldon, which you may know as Sancretor, was the old seat of the Reman dynasty. After his victory, the Nords called Hjalti Earlybeard Hjalti Talos, or Stormcrown, a name you now hold. Then Culcain was assassinated by Hjalti Talos, and made to look like Culcain enemies had done it. Then Hjalti Talos adopted the name Tiber Septim, and founded the Septim dynasty. Wulfarth the Ash King appeared to Tiber as the Underking to help him with his campaign, and hoped to get Tiber to attack Morrowind. But when Tiber struck a deal with the tribunal, the Underking felt betrayed and turned back to Ash. Tiber Septim became the new Ysmir Dragon of the North, and Wulfarth disappeared. When the Greybeards named you Ysmir Dragon of the North, they did so knowing what that meant. Tiber Septim battled the elves. King Wulfarth battled the elves. Both were Ysmir. Now we have a new threat, the Thalmor. More trouble from the elves, and here you are, Ysmir Dragon of the North, right on time for a new war. The Greybeard named you the heir to the Stormcrown, but as you now know, Stormcrown was a person's name. In this case, they meant you are the heir of Hjalti Talos, who wore a storm as a crown in battle. Yes, he was, and you are the heir of Tiber Septim, according to the Greybeards. They fear you will abuse the voice, as Wulfarth once did. It spelt disaster for the Nords. I would guess their goal this time is to put you on the right path to victory. By calling you Ysmir, Dragon of the North, the Greybeards send a message that raises certain expectations of you. First, you are the right hand of Shor himself, most hated amongst the elves. Second, people will expect you to fight the Thalmor and drive them from our lands. The Stormcrown refers to Tiber Septim and the storm that crowned him during the Battle of Old Heraldon. But, since Talos' own name means Stormcrown, it also means you are his true heir. Here, take these books about Lorkhan and his aspects. You may find them interesting.
All right then.